Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Mario vs Donkey Kong. And in this episode, we're going to be going through Fire Mountain World 3, an area that kind of reminds me of Marble Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog. So instead of being inside a city or a jungle, we are now surrounded by lava, meaning I'm expecting a lot of fails in this level, as it is pretty difficult with some of the physics and all that. Not to mention the really bad collision detection in this game, but I've already gone on about that. But the part that really reminds me of Marble Zone is you stand on these platforms and then they get, they rise up when the lava goes up at the same time. So it kind of reminds me of Marble Zone because it was the same with like the platforms that fell down and you had to jump on them to make your way across and all that. The thing I do like about World 3 though, it's so ideal for sequence breaking. Like there are so many ways that you can just pull off some of the parkour moves and save a lot of time trying to get through the levels. Like you saw earlier, instead of having to take all the way up to the top and collect the 1-up, I could just do a backflip somersault and get to the top. But I'm going to collect all the presents and try to get the stars, but you know that already. I don't have to go on about that. Speaking of sequence breaking actually, there's something I want to talk about. You can sort of do... weird voice crack right there. You can do sequence breaking in modern games, but you can't do it nearly as much as you used to. Like in Super Mario 64, you could basically just sequence break every mission. But in a game like, say, Super Mario 3D World, you can sort of sequence break, but it's only to do a couple of things, but I just died. So that was a good start. But, yeah, because in Super Mario 3D World, you could do sequence breaking by reaching up to higher places, but you can't, say, perform a series of wall jumps like in Super Mario 64 and cut out half of the level on that. Because honestly, there's like a particular level in Super Mario 64 where it involves... You're inside like this haunted house and you have to do this mission called Secret of the Haunted Books or something. I don't know, I usually forget the name. And you have to hit the books in a certain order to get the star. But I, for one, like to do sequence breaking by doing a triple jump and then doing a really, really well-timed wall jump to launch me up to the top. Therefore, I can just get the star by not even bothering touching the books. It's something that I miss in most games nowadays. They do have sequence breaking, but it's not nearly as fun. In my opinion, anyway. That's not to say modern games suck or anything. They're still good, but I'm more of a classic gamer personally. We're also going to be given like these new things here where they act a bit like thwomps, where if you stand underneath them, you're likely to get crushed. And I don't know what I'm doing here, so that's probably cut off a bit of my time. So that's pretty bad. This level though, oh god, you have to be so precise with your timing. Because if you just mess up once, like I did, you're not going to get the star. What happened to the noise? I was doing so much sequence break and the game couldn't keep up with the audio. Brilliant. Oh, barely scraped it. Okay, now hopefully this should get me the star. And if I'm not fast enough, then I don't know what's going on. Oh, thank goodness. I was expecting to do that a lot of times, but it turns out I got it on my second time. So, not too bad. Okay, and with that painful level done out of the way, how about we move onwards to the third one, where we're going to come across something a bit new. The lava does rise in the other ones now, but it literally rises like without the platforms, so you got to be quick. And we're also going to come across these new enemies. If you're familiar with the Mario universe and that, you may have heard of these things called Shy Guys. They're Mario vs Donkey Kong, but instead of actually being shy, they try to kill you. So instead of just flying or just wandering around, they actually try to burn you with flamethrowers. So that's different. It's not really out of place or anything like, say, the Dead Hand in Ocarina of Time, but, it's a nice addition. It adds to the difficulty and all, so I'm alright with it. And I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm trying to do a backflip, but for some reason, my controller wasn't really working properly. But, oh well. I mean, it didn't really put me off too much gameplay, I guess. Hopefully I'm still going to get the star, because I don't really like redoing levels, but Oh well. What was that? I just heard this really weird noise from my left speaker. It sounded like static or something. And here's another part where I love sequence breaking. If you just do a handstand here and get it right, you can cut out a lot of the level. Also, if you do a backflip here as well, you can cut out most of the steps. So, you know, this is probably like one of my favourite worlds. Yeah, it's got lava. Yeah, it's difficult. But sequence breaking is so much fun in this. But personally, I find that my favourite game for sequence breaking and all has to be Super Metroid. I might LP that game sometime actually, but I guess we'll see. We'll just have to wait to see it and all that. I'm kind of stuttering a bit here, I don't know why. And for the last part, like in the other episodes, we're going to finish it off by doing the 4th one. Because, you know, I do 4 in every episode, but I've got about that 4. You should know it by now. Oh, this level. I also had troubles with this as well, but with a bit of sequence breaking and all, it kind of makes it easier for you. Because honestly, without doing a bit of sequence breaking and all, some of these missions are pretty hard to get through if you ask me. So it helps to do a bit of showing off how good you are or something, I don't know. I'm trying to not say sequence breaking, but you know, I'm just trying to find other words to say. I'm trying to differentiate from my commentary. Again, I have no idea what I'm saying at all. This is going off to a weird start. Again with the music, you know, not really something I find catchy, but it's there, suits the level, so it's all good. I also really like the background on this. Definitely showed off what the GBA could do. Because, I mean, look, you can see like sort of a heat flare or something. I don't know exactly what they call it, but it's a neat little effect for like what the Game Boy Advance can do. Because, well, I will admit, the Game Boy Advance didn't really have a very sharp sound chip or anything. If anything, I found that even the NES's sound chip was a bit sharper, but that did not mean it was a bad game. And whoa! What? Anytime you die, for some reason, Mario loses his eyes when he gets burnt. It's like he's out to kill you or something. Cue the creepypasta. Okay, there we go. So this time I did not get burned by the Shy Guy. And if you want to save a bit of time, you can just kill them by throwing it straight down onto the other one. At least that's what I do anyway, because it makes it a bit easier. Oh my goodness! I think I was supposed to stand on the top of it. Ah, that didn't go well. Okay, right, I'm going to jump on top of it this time. Not go underneath it. Seriously, sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing because I'm too busy talking. But that's not going to stop me from doing live commentary. I love it. A lot. Gotta get that star again. Ah, by the way, I ought to mention this. If you hit the switch at a certain point, you can actually do it where the thing that drops down and all, you can use it as like a platform to make it easier to get to the top of the red stairs. Just thought I'd let you know that, as I discovered it along the way. No! My god! This is going terrible. Don't fail me now, please. Okay, there we go. I have 209 seconds because I didn't die, and I had a lot of recording issues along the way, which was annoying. But now, I have got the star. Brilliant. Ah, that's DK, innit? Thought so. So, with that done, I guess we're going to call things off here. In the next episode of Mario vs Donkey Kong, we will be clearing Fire Mountain and getting all this lava business out of the way. That was a brilliant choice of words there. So, take care guys, and I will see you in the next episode. Best finale ever.